Well, we're back. Oh, and here's my little doggy back, as usual. Come on. All right. All right. Have the old chubby. Okay. Anyway, today, Friday, my brother Ron took off again for his 5 months vacation in the Azores on the island of Flores. My daughter went by and picked him up from his house at 4:30 a.m. this morning so he could catch his flight from Reno to San Francisco International, and then from there San Francisco to Boston, and he'll probably have a layover in Boston. He normally does. And then from there he will take a SATA air flight. I think he's using JetBlue actually right now over there to Boston. But then he takes a flight from SATA Air, which goes to the Azores, and will probably land on the Big Island, and then he'll hop over to another one. And normally sometimes he has a layover there too. So a lot of times it'll take him 17 hours to 36 hours to get back there. And when he gets back there, he will be a C0 call, which is for the Azores Island. I forget if it's a C02 or something like that. So if you hear NU6F with a C0 on the end, that will be him on the island of Flores. And I asked him, I said, well, there's only 4 other hams on the island. He says, yeah. So he said, if any of my equipment comes apart or whatever, he said, I can borrow equipment, because these guys, they have tons of equipment. There may only be 4 guys, but they have all kinds of stuff. And of course, it's not brand new equipment. It's pretty old stuff, but a lot of the guys do that. And then the flask that I got for $15 at the Ham Fest, I found out after I started cleaning it up, it's copper. The entire thing is actually copper. So you can see the stamped in little scene is still, pretty perfectly readable and everything. Then I did have to go ahead and solder the seam because it was open, and so it may not be a thing of beauty, but it'll keep it from any powder from coming out. So yeah, the rest of it is still, all pretty solid all the way around. That was the only bad spot, because someone had started up here and it just, I guess, kept opening up. So I made sure I sealed that off. Had to get my torch out with some flux, and luckily it's copper, so it'll take solder, so it worked out really well. And then the charger, that spout there, that's still, everything there still works fine. So that worked okay. And then I started cleaning up the cabinet on the this vacuum tube voltmeter I got. And yeah, I don't know, it came up pretty good. At least it looks a lot better than it did, all white and corroded. The back is the only thing I left the same, because I actually ran out of paint finally on this, but I've got pretty much all of it done except for this back. And it's a silver gray paint, but it's actually a high temperature paint. It's actually for engines. What are you doing, dog? And he ran over there. No, what are you doing, dog? What? What? No, there's nothing over there. What? What, silly? Well, come up here. Come on, what'd you jump off for? He jumped off and ran over the bed and started barking. I don't know why. So anyway, I went through the rest of this meter and took care of as much corrosion as I could on it. And it is pretty hefty, I'll tell you. But I'll have to show you that in a minute. The panel, I cleaned up the corrosion pretty much. There's still a couple specks on it, but I really can't do it. Oh, there he goes running off. What? This dog's something crazy. Hold on. Be right back. Chubby had to go look for a squirrel, I guess. I don't know. So he wanted to run outside. And it's also 90 degrees here today. Never failed. My brother takes off, goes to the Azores, and we hit the 90s. I don't know what it is. But anyway. But, anyhow, let's go ahead and test this guy out and see if it works. And like my brother said, Gary would never get rid of something that didn't work. So, even though as bad a shape it was in, I found out the other metal seal backing plate on it that was rusted. When I looked at the original manual, and it's a 153-page manual that I brought up on my computer, it shows all the different, there's another plate that goes over top of that, and it shows what all those adjustments are for. Well, this is gone. It doesn't have it on it. So I don't know if it's something that somebody took off already or what, but it was supposed to have it originally. They said there was an original plate that went over it. So I don't know. I may have to make a cardboard plate to go over there or something. I don't know. I'm not going to take everything apart to redo that. Just really not worth it for me. So anyway, I'll show you what we got. All right. I'm going to take the chair out of there. Let's look down here. See that. And that was the other thing. I wasn't quite sure on this thing. Where it would work out, but there's an ohms, and I thought for sure that's probably where the corrosion came from, was from a battery or something, but there is no place for a battery in this, none whatsoever. So I'm thinking what it was is pretty much what other people have said. This was probably an area that was near the ocean, whatever, so it got a lot of sea breezes and moisture and stuff like that in it, and that's probably what happened. Well, let's see, the best way to do this is turn my Variac on and watch it explode. So the Variac is on. I have it. I'm going to turn the lights off, and then we're going to turn the on switch on, which is over here, and see what happens. And there's a little red light that came on down here, as you can see. I'll do it again. Well, let me get off to one side. That was not a fluke. Notice how it meter jumped up and came back down. Let's see. Let's put it on. I'll turn it over on ohms. Yep, it went all the way over on ohms. Okay, let's see where the ohms probe is. That's common and that's ohms. Okay, so that should be it right there. And if that's right, then hopefully that'll work. Yep, that's it. I have to clean the tips on these things. They're kind of on the cruddy side, so I'm going to have to clean these probes up. But it does work. I just got to make sure they're tightened and cleaned up. But yeah, so ohms works. Put it on see, ohms adjust, and yeah, adjustment works. So you got ohms adjust. Okay, so that worked. Now if we go back to AC, let's see if AC 0, yeah, that works. Okay, so that part works. And he still has another 0 adjust. I don't know what that's for, but that also works. So I'm pretty confident everything works on this. And I'm just going to do some cleaning up on the probes and everything else. And it does have a high voltage probe. Of course, I don't have anything that puts out 1,000 volts. So, but look at this thing. This tip, it's like really bad, and it's a really sharp point too on the end of this thing. But you can see it even moves a little bit. I don't know what's going on there, but it's probably still loose. Oh yeah, it's loose. That's what it is. Beep, beep. Okay, so anyway, so it would seem that this was not a total loss, that it does work, and we will probably be able to use this on testing out stuff like maybe even the radio I have to work on next. So anyhow, that's going to be it for now. Talk to you guys later. Bye.